boards, scenery, and terrain. These things are integral to the hobby and really help drive home the immersion to the game we love. But I understand not everybody has the time or skill to really make the best of this, so what can we do?
I am pretty hyped for this one. I have never used an FDM printer before. I've never set one up, so I'm going to set this up, print off the test model, and then try and print off some massive terrain as well.
Flash to the Anycubic VYPER, an auto-leveling FDM 3D printer. Coming in at just under $360, this is one of the newest 3D printers to the market. I was sent this with a kilo of PLA, and I really want to know just how easy is it and what exactly can you get from this machine. The instructions were pretty clear and quite concise. I found this rather easy to put together, and I'm not particularly good at that kind of thing. A couple of screws, a couple of bolts, and it comes with a small toolkit you need. I'll be honest, at this point I wasn't entirely sure what each of these things was going to do and how the thing was going to look and work at the end. It did take me a little bit of time to work out exactly what cables and what wires went where, but when that was done, the machine was ready to go. One of the key features this machine boasts, and something I was told to look out for, is an auto-leveling bed. Having since done a little bit of research online, this seems to be one of the biggest problems leading to the most failed prints. Well, this one you don't have to worry about it. It is literally the press of a button. The machine does it all for you. So, pop in the SD card you get with it, press print on the file, and this starts to happen. You can see the process, it just rolls backwards and forwards with the thin layers of plastic until you eventually have the full product. One of the advantages to this over an SLA printer is you don't have to deal with the smell, or the noise, or the mess. Yes.
That is the owl done. What do you think to that one? Personally, I am pretty happy with it. It came out better than I expected. The last time I'd seen any 3D printed terrain, the lines were a lot thicker and a lot more obvious, but on this one, they're less obvious and it actually looks pretty good. So I'm really excited to move on to printing the massive terrain.
With the machine set and ready to go, it's on to the fun bit of searching for something to print. Here enters Dan from 3D Printed Tabletop and his website Lost Adventures. Primarily set and aimed towards D&D players, they come with lots of small pieces, but they're not what I'm after. That's not what you want to see. We want to see something massive. I found this tree standing watchtower. That's what we want to do. That's what I want to print. I got the files, downloaded them onto the SD card, and then put them into Cura. This is a slicer, a piece of software used to tell you how many layers and what exact settings you're going to use for your printer. I will admit the instructions didn't really give you much detail here, so I had to go digging around online and find out for myself. But we did it. We printed the bell, the smallest, simplest bit. With that done and my confidence flying high, I decided to move on to the base of the watchtower. This thing is quite big. It took around 35 hours to print. I didn't think this process would take this long, and I only really gave myself a week to do it. Do be aware, if you're working on a big project, do give yourself enough time. Overall, I'm really happy with that. There's a few parts that didn't print to the exact detail I'd have hoped or expected from, but maybe that's something I've done and I'm sure that'll all become apparent. Next up was the second layer, the middle layer and the top, in which the bell tower attaches to. This is the main part of the watchtower all stacked up together. That's just under a foot tall. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough PLA to print the legs to the tree as well. Regardless of that, you can still see some of the detail here that is in this model. Yes, it isn't as fine as an SLA printer, it isn't as well detailed, but it is a lot easier to use, and I've enjoyed it very much.
That is it, the massive print. What do you think? It's a shame that we didn't have enough, well, I didn't have enough filament to print the huge wooden legs. I think that would have looked awesome, but I am pretty happy with that. For my very first go, that was plug and play. I just stuck in the memory card, put the files on it, and it did it all on its own. I left that there. It took about 150 hours or something, 120 hours, something crazy to print it all. So it's gonna take a while, but don't worry, I'm gonna come back with a board build where I've printed off more of these from the same set. So I've got the watchtower, there's a few other ones as well, I'll pick those on the tree trunks and make a big 40K Age of Sigmar style tree board, bit World of Warcraft-esque. That should be quite fun. I thank you to Dan from 3D Printed Tabletop for sending me the files and being my tech support when those little bits on the front started to go wrong. I don't think it's an issue with his files, it's not an issue with the printer itself, or me. I think it's just a printer setting that I need to work on. So I'm looking forward to figuring that out. If you've not had enough of big printed stuff, well, go and check out Luke's latest video where he prints a massive resin dragon. Now that's different to this one. He's using resin, I've used the filament, so it should be quite different, and he has a lot of experience, and I think it's a pretty cool project. So big terrain, big dragons, big stuff. Thank you guys. Check out the Patreon if you want to support the channel, and check out all the other links as well. Just massive thanks for following along, and I'll catch you guys in another one. Take care.